So when I was thinking what to speak on, God was really telling me that everyone here really needs him more, really needs to know who he is more. And we can't just live on that surface level of, I know who he is. We have to always go more for him and know who he is. So today, I'm going to challenge you of how much do you know him, okay? So we're going to start off with like who God is. We can have those words, those descriptions of who he is. It can start off with love, trustworthy, faithful, the healer, father. Give me other words. Anyone else? Friend. What? King. Yeah. So the list can go on and on and on and on and on. But the thing is, if you don't really know what they mean, then how are you ever supposed to embody those? So you may look at those words, say, Maruna, you're a great friend. Well, what makes her a great friend? What does a friend mean? So she's a great friend because she's thoughtful, she's always there for me, she's loving, and on and on and on. Nice work, Maruna. But, so God is all these things, but have you really dug into what those characteristics mean? Okay? So, the characteristics, he is healer. He can heal you emotionally, spiritually, physically, and he can take away all those things, that trauma, all those things in your life. But you have to know he is this. He is healer. Okay? So, another one, he is faithful. Why is he faithful? He is faithful because he's always there. He's consistent. Whenever I need someone, he's my comforter. I can always count on him. So he's faithful because of all those things. He's everything I need. I don't need anything else, really. Do I need a house in my life? Well, it's good to have one, but I need him more. I need to have him. So looking at who he is, you have to look at the meaning of the characteristics that describe who he is, right? Or else you'll never really have a relationship with him. Because you could say Maruna is my friend and she's good and all that, but I don't really know much about her. I need to dig really deep into that relationship to find out who she is and the characteristics that describe who she is, because that's what would want me to make me to be her friend. So I want to dig deep into a relationship with Jesus even more because I want to know those characteristics about him, right? Okay. So every day in preschool, I'm in preschool sometimes in the mornings, every day we go around the circle and we do morning prayer with the kids. And we say 3 things because, they can go on and, I thank you for this and thank you for this and this is my 21st thank yous and all that kind of thing. So we say 3 things to Jesus about thanking him or that kind of thing. And lately, I've actually been doing the 3 same things. I don't know if they've noticed this, but I have, for a while now. So my first thing is that I thank Jesus for letting me spend time with my friends, which is the preschool kids, because they like that. Yeah. And then I thank Jesus for dying on the cross and what he did. Yeah. And then I go, thank you, Jesus, that I get to learn more about you every single day. And I've been doing this for quite a while. And ever since I've been doing this, it gets me thinking, well, do I really know who he is? Do I know he's good. I know he's faithful. I know he's this. But is there more about him that I don't know? And the thing is, I want to know more about him. And that's the thing. We should always want to know more about who he is. We shouldn't always have to stay in that place in our life saying, well, I know everything about him. If you do, that's amazing. But I think we should always try to find out more about who he is. Because if we find out more about who he is, eventually we'll find out more about who we are, right? So one thing that I know about him that other people may not know is that he's very, very sarcastic with me. Maybe I'm a sarcastic person. I don't really know. But that's one thing of who he is. He loves being sarcastic with me. So he may have little things with you. But to me, who he is, he likes to be funny with me. He likes to tell jokes with me. And that's my relationship with him. So if he's all serious with you, that's good. But with me, he's very sarcastic and silly and playful, and that's who he is. He's like a big child sometimes with me. Okay? So we're going to read a Bible verse, Mark 10, 46, 52. Again, I can't see if it's up there or not. Nope. Sorry. Should I start reading? I'll go for it. Then they came to Jericho. Oh, nice work. Oh, is that what I get? 10, 46, 52. 46 to 52. Is that what Mark? You're skipping all the way to the last one. There you go. It came all the way to the end. Is that Jer? No? Okay, well, if it was Jer, then I'd be like, come on, let's get with it. But it's okay. I'll let it pass if it's someone else. Okay. Then they came to Jericho. And as he was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a large crowd, a blind beggar named Bartimaeus, the son of, please excuse my pronunciation, Timaeus? Sure, nice. Was sitting by the road. When he heard that it was Jesus, the Nazarene, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Very interactive. Okay. Many were sternly telling him to be more quiet, but he kept crying out all the more. Son of David, have mercy on me. No one liked that part? Okay, thanks, okay. And Jesus stopped and said, call him here. So they called the blind man, saying to him, take courage, stand up, he is calling you. Throwing aside his cloak, he jumped up and came to Jesus. And answering him, Jesus said, what do you want me to do for you? And the blind man said to him, Rabboni, I want to regain my sight. And Jesus said to him, go, your faith has made you well. Immediately he regained his sight and began following him on the road. Now, when I read this story, the main thing that stood out to me was Bartimaeus knew who he was, even though he could not physically see him at all. He knew that it was Jesus when he was going by. He felt his presence. He knew without a shadow of a doubt that that was who he was. And so, imagine Bartimaeus crying out, people throwing things at him, spitting at him, that kind of thing. And yet, he knew when Jesus was there, he knew that that was him. He couldn't see it. He couldn't see anyone, but he knew who he was in that moment. And so when Jesus called him up, his faith of knowing who Jesus was made him well. Let me say that again. His faith of knowing who Jesus was got him healed. How amazing is that? So with that, wouldn't you want to just know without a shadow of a doubt that that's who he was, and that's what he could either provide for you or get you healed or whatever you want in your life? You just knew a shadow of a doubt, this is who he is, and that's it. No one could convince me otherwise. And that's what happened with him. No one could convince him otherwise with Bartimaeus. He knew that that was him. He knew Jesus was there. And he knew who he was. The destination is on your right. And so, since Bartimaeus knew who he was, he got to have that experience of healing. Now, that experience, once you know who he is, could look like so many different things. It could look like healing. It could look like spiritual giftings. It could look like breakthroughs. It could, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But healing is just one of them. So, for instance, in my life, quite a while back, I came here and I felt that I couldn't be healed. I couldn't be fixed, that my sickness and everything about me would get healed when I went to heaven. And that I couldn't have a new life. That the life that I lived in right now was what I had. But eventually, I knew that wasn't the truth. I knew I had to dig deeper into who he was to actually finding out what I could have and what experience I could have. So he started to speak, I started to speak into many areas of my life and just renouncing, he is this, he is this, he is this, he is healer, he is a friend, he is good. And I needed to, after announcing all those things in my life, I said, okay, what do those mean? Okay, I'm going to go further. So I had to go keep on going, keep on digging. It's kind of like a shovel. You need to dig further and go and more and more and more and more and more. And 8 months later, I am actually healed of a health issue that I had. So now, some people online and some people may not realize that's actually a very, very big deal if you know me. I believed all these lies about myself since I was like 14, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. But the more I dug into who he was and really the relationship I wanted to have with him, that's what got me healed. And again, healing is just one of the experiences I had with him. But there's so much more. It's like we go through all these things where we get cuts and bruises in that, but he's the one who can only stitch you up. Now, the scar can stay there and people can see that, but you have to really let him want to sew you up and go let him say, okay, Jesus, I'm willing to go through the hard stuff and that, but you can sew me back together. Now, with Jesus, where do I go with this? With my journey in that, the thing is, I really couldn't, because it's been like 8 months, I really couldn't be like, yes, it's 8 months, that's all I need. I really have to go again further. I really have to know that I need to walk this out. That faith of knowing who he is going to continue me on this path. So, what does that look like to you? Are you making yourself look like him? Well, do you know who he is so you can look like him? And we can't change ourselves if we don't know him. Again, people around us, and sometimes we say, okay, I want to look this way and that kind of thing. I want to become like this. Well, if you don't know him and you want to embody him, how can you change yourself? You're just going to stay the same. And what are you willing to give up to look like him? So the thing is, with him, he saw you, he knew you. Now, do you see him and do you know him? With us, are we willing to give up that pain, that embarrassment or pride or our bodies or whatever it is? Are we willing to give those things up to look like him? Because he gave it all up for us. And I want to look like him. I want to know who he is so I can look like him. Because I want to be like him. Okay. I'm going to ask everyone to close their eyes. I'm going to read some passages over you, or scriptures over you. And I really want them to just kind of soak in of who he really is. So Psalm 18, 30, 31. As for God, his way is blameless. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a shield to all who take refuge in him. Psalm 116, 5. Gracious is the Lord and righteous. Yes, our God is compassionate. Isaiah 40, 28. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not become weary or tired. His understanding instructable. 1 John 4, 8. The one who does not love does not know God, for God is love. 1 Samuel 2, 2. There is no one holy like the Lord. Indeed, there is no one besides you, nor is there any rock like our God. 1 Corinthians 6, 19, 20. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and that you are not your own, for you have been bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body. Someone told me that if we really knew him, we'd want to give everything. So my question is, do you really know him? Do you think you know enough about him that you don't want to know more? Because I don't want to wake up tomorrow saying, I think I know everything about God. I want to keep going further with him. I want to find out more and more about him that I don't know. I want to be challenged by him. So if you want to find out more about him, if you want to really know who he is, come up forward. Don't stay in that place where you think you know everything about him. Because there's always more. There's always more of him that you probably don't know.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. And please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos or our live stream. You can also support the Father's House financially by clicking the Give button. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.